Knowing that this constant chatter up in your head goes on whether you like it or not. Why would you assume that this voice up in your head is more worth listening to than any other voice? Hello from Sweden and welcome to Everyday Mystic, a gentle guide to your liberation. My name is David and I hope that you're feeling well and that you're having a good day. Now, I want to get back to the question that I asked in the beginning of the video. Why would you assume that the voice up in your head is worth more listening to than any other voice? Especially when you know how many voices out there are wrong. Why would your chattering voice be more right than anyone else's? And now, the goal of this process is to completely stop automatic thinking. But as you might know, this is not so easy. And really, if you observe what is going on here in the present moment, you can see that there is this constant mindless activity. You do a lot of stuff without really knowing why you're doing them. You're thinking a lot of stuff without really being aware of that you're thinking them. And you say a lot of things without any real intention behind your words. And often you are unaware of the motivations behind what you are saying. So, when this useless activity stops, and this is actually a very real, tangible shift that is happening on the inside, and you will, if you're going through a spiritual awakening, experience this more and more. When this useless activity stops, you will have the power to allow everything to just flow from the present moment. And to put things into a little bit of perspective, you are just this little infinitesimal small node of an infinite, all-loving consciousness, i.e. God, which is both personal, communicating with you on a personal level, but also this infinite, eternal love energy that is all around you and that permeates you and that you are a part of. This is what you are. Then there are a lot of filters on top of this, like thoughts, that tell you that, oh, I have this opinion, I have this belief, I have this interest, and so on and so forth. None of this is really you, and this is called identification. You identify with different things. Your belongings, your peer group, your society, your political opinions, and so on. This is what identification is. And this prevents you from seeing your real nature. This is what the teachers such as Eckhart Tolle is talking about. A lot of Hindu mystics are talking about it. And also actually Rhonda Byrne in her book The Greatest Secret. Now, what you first need to realize is that all of this is just a bunch of cause and effect and movement. And you are none of it, but this is what you are identified as in the present moment. So in a sense, if this makes sense to you, this is part of your experience, this faulty programming, this faulty idea of who you are. So there is nothing really wrong with it. But now you have to make a choice in relation to it. Recognize what is going on, I already explained it just a moment ago, and set the intention of letting go. And the first step is, of course, to understand what is happening here. And this does not mean, by the way, that you take anything away from you. You can still continue to have this personal experience of being you. You just let go of the belief that you are a lot of things that you are really not. And you can of course not think your way to this. This is a process of just recognizing, bring more and more awareness into the present moment and recognize what is going on. And then it is a process of just seeing it clearly. You can use every experience actually to remind you of being aware in the present moment, instead of being off in the past or the future, or thinking about some scheme or whatever is going on in your mind at the present moment that your mind tries to trick you with. So, work with yourself from this. Challenge these patterns of behavior, but again, know that you don't have to do anything. The big question is to be aware of what is going on, to not fall asleep again, to not just go into these reactive patterns of thought and behavior and so on. Because what is happening over and over again is that your external experience is triggering things in different ways inside of yourself. Something happens, and now listen to this, because this is important if you want to understand and become free from this. First, something happens, it triggers an emotion inside of you, and then it triggers a lot of automatic thought patterns that are related to this emotion, that is also programming from how you have responded to past experiences. And these thought patterns start to feed the emotion even more. You might, for example, get into some minor accident and you start thinking, oh, how am I going to pay for this? And what kind of idiot runs into me like this? And all of these things, and you get more and more angry. And this in turn feeds even more thoughts, and soon you have started to thinking about all of your other problems, and it's not just located to this single incident. I know that you can recognize this for yourself if you start observing yourself and start seeing what is going on. Which of course makes you behave in an automatic, predictable manner, which keeps you trapped in this cycle of essentially not making free choices at all. So this is faulty programming, this is part of your false personality, and you can see this. All of these little identifications that you have that cause you to filter reality in a certain way, to understand reality in a certain way, and you think that this is all part of you, but this is the illusion. And this can cause you to judge other people that don't believe the same things that you do, that don't have the same opinions that you do, and you can try to force your opinions on them. And just get out of this cycle. Let it go. It's not real. All that is real is our fundamental oneness with God's infinite consciousness. At the absolute fundamental core, you are infinite love, and you cannot be anything else. You are here to love other people unconditionally, not condemn and judge them. So see the cycle that is going on and break free, break out of the cause and effect that is dictating your behavior and your responses right now. And as I said, it begins with awareness. If you can really manage to stay present and aware in the present moment, what will happen is that these things start dissolving themselves if you really can recognize them. And what I am trying to do in this video is to make you aware of all of these processes. There is yet another shift that you will take eventually. And this is when you actually start to see that there is this very clear, pure awareness behind your normal clouded perception. And keep your eyes open for this, because you will start noticing this more and more, and this becomes more apparent to you the more you start to calm your mind down, calm your thinking down, and look past this thinking that you have identified yourself with your whole life. And also, this is something that you train yourself to. But it is actually more easy than to try and force everything to happen outside of you. It's just that you haven't practiced it because no one told you that you had this option. So look for this. And of course, a very good technique to do this is meditation. The more you sit down and meditate and just are with yourself, are with your process in your body, and try to use everything that you experience that comes into your field of awareness to bring you back into the present moment, the more easy it will be to spot this higher state of consciousness. And I actually believe that this is what people talk about when they talk about the 5D state of consciousness. So, use self-observation. Become aware of your thoughts, words and actions. Because most people are not really aware of these things. And look at how this happens. Look at if you really know how you behave. Look at if you really know how you communicate with other people. Look if you are really aware of the intentions behind your thoughts, words and actions. Because at least for me, before I started this journey, I was not aware of these things at all. And also, as I already said, understand how thoughts and emotions interact. See how emotions get triggered by external events and sets thoughts, emotions that are related to your past experiences and how you have responded to them. And you need to again take a step back from this. Even though people know that this is how it works, they fall into the trap of identifying themselves with their thoughts anyway. I still do this, and most other people do it as well, unless they are very evolved spiritually. So stop believing your thoughts, but realize that this is also a difficult thing to do. And again, challenge the automatic thoughts and behaviors. Don't just not believe your thoughts, but try when you become aware that you are caught up in an habitual behavior to break free from the cycle. This is very uncomfortable in the beginning, but this is what you have to do if you want to break free from your current situation. You don't have to do anything, and actually, the more you can stay in awareness, the less you are affected by your material circumstances. But why not do this effort also to try to improve, to try to also maybe have better circumstances that you can be a better use to others from? And also, an interesting part of this, and this is actually where you can begin if you want to change your behavior, if you want to change your thought patterns, and this is to become aware of negative speech. Become aware of it and stop it. If you catch yourself complaining about things that you can do nothing about, just try and stop yourself, because when you do this with your speech, it will also have an effect on how well you can handle your inner life. It will have an effect on how much willpower you have when it comes to controlling your action. Also, and this is a little hack that I have for you, ask yourself the question, is this the best use of my time and energy right now? Because this little hack will get you out of the false personality and into actually be in alignment with the present moment instead, because you will get answers for this. The answers might not be so clear in the beginning, but the more you ask yourself this question, the clearer the answers will be. And it will be more and more obvious to you what you are supposed to do, what you are supposed to say, as opposed to what your past conditioning is telling you to do or say, as opposed to what you think is required of your society, of your culture, etc. You need to break free from all of this, because there is something much more authentic inside of yourself. But again, you cannot think your way into this. This is the trap. There is a point of direct action where you are not defined by the present, and where you are not defined by the past, and where you are not defined by all of these outer circumstances that don't really have anything to do with how you are supposed to act. So, if you want to get a little further on this, I want to also recommend you to take a serious look at what values you are living by. I will make a whole video about this in the future, But think about this and you will start to see more and more of what is authentic to you. Some things are more specific, some things are more common, but remember this. At the absolute fundamental core, you are one with God's infinite consciousness, and everything that you do in this life needs to be as much in alignment with this truth as possible if you want to live as authentically as possible. It's not that you become judged if you don't do this, but this is how you align yourself with this process that is happening on the planet right now. This is how you align yourself with higher states of consciousness. This process is happening whatever we do, but we will both be more useful in it and have a better experience if we align ourselves with it. And that's it for today. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment and share the video on social media and other places. All of it helps the channel to grow. And if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so YouTube always notifies you of new videos. And check out the description and the comment section for other things that me and my wife are doing. Especially check out my store Trickster Saint, where I have my own creative works. And other than that, just sincerely thank you for your time.